And another thing, I want to dedicate today's episode to one of my good friends, the one and only Tariq Jamal Jackson, this brother right here. And I'm shouting him out, not just because he's awesome, long live the legend, but because he is solely responsible for putting me onto this whole movement that was happening right before his very eyes when he was at USC's film school. Now, many of us know about the LA Film Rebellion. It started in the 1970s into the 1980s, formulated at UCLA, that featured the likes of Julie Dash and Charles Burnett. But I don't think many people know that USC's film school in the 2010s actually had their own type of movement that featured some daring, bold new voices from African-American cinematic storytellers who tell fantastic stories about Black lives. And I didn't know these brothers were connected until my bro Tariq would call me every few weeks to tell me about what's happening in LA while he was in film school. Okay, so let's start with the one and only Ryan Coogler. Ryan graduated in 2011, and my bro Tariq entered USC's film school in 2011. So that summer when he got there for orientation, everyone was talking about this amazing young guy from the Bay who did this incredible thesis film called Fig that everyone was saying is the next guy up. So Tariq found that short and he sent it to me. And man, when I tell you, they were absolutely right. As you know, Ryan Coogler has gone on to writing, producing, and directing some of the biggest box office successes we have ever seen. So it was incredibly dope that the two of them connected. That summer also introduced Tariq to another amazing filmmaker who went on to become one of his best friends in film school. And that guy's name is Stephen Capel Jr. The two were very close. And 2 years later in 2013, Tariq executive produced Stephen's thesis film, which is entitled A Different Tree. Now, A Different Tree went on to garner a lot of acclaim. And that acclaim led to Stephen going on to produce his debut feature film, entitled The Land. The Land was awesome. The one and only Nas did the soundtrack. And a lot of you are really familiar with Stephen Capel Jr., as he was the amazing director who directed Creed 2. Thanks to that USC film school connection that I was talking about before, Stephen and Ryan were connected. And as Ryan Coogler was busy producing one of the greatest films of all time, The Black Panther, he was unable to direct the sequel to his Rocky reboot in the Creed series. So Stephen Capel Jr. was recommended by Ryan Coogler to step in and be the director for Creed 2, which is actually my favorite Creed. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because while Tariq was also in LA, he also meets two more incredible guys. One, Shaka King, and the other is Joel Taylor. Shaka King originally from New York, but he moved to LA at the time. And I remember Tariq telling me about him and saying, Shaw, you gotta check out this short film from this dude I just met. His name is Shaka, and the short film was Moulin, the best comedy short film of all time. And then a few years after Shaka moves to LA, he goes on to bring forth into the world Judas and the Black Messiah. And then he was telling me about this guy named Joel, who was this prolific writer, this guy who gets scripts done in lightning speed, who had a project that he was shopping around called They Clone Tyrone, which was produced by another person that Tariq knew from undergrad, Dr. Stephen Love Jr. So all I'm saying is that if you really look at it, there's a connection between these brothers. Not only are they changing the complexion of box office Hollywood success in the 21st century, but they're all working together, changing the game. And I'm highlighting this, hoping that we can take from their example in our personal journeys as creatives, filmmakers, musicians, to show how dope it is for you to look left and look right and not see competition, but see collaborators. Because I feel like competition is for the incompetent. That connection between creatives is what keeps us plugged into the source. In this time period where things feel dark, let's let that light of love shine through. Because that's the way my bro was. He showed love to everybody. Everybody loved him. We still love him. And that's why he's gonna live forever. So since this episode is dedicated to him, I would love for y'all to go on YouTube right now and go watch one of his last films, Bush Baby, a gentrification film directed by Tariq Jackson. And I also want you to go and support the improv comedy group, which is called REEK4EVER, that was created in dedication to him. Major shout out to Marquise. I also want you to go find his little brother, who's also doing film now, and support his film movement, Say Cool Films, because that's how his legacy lives on. And the whole entire Jackson family, and to everyone who knew him and got the opportunity to experience the blessing that he is. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Long live the realest.